When I listen to mixes that have been created by other DJs, I can normally tell pretty instantly if that mix has been created by somebody that is a beginner or somebody that is more advanced. Now I can tell you now that it is not the music, nor is it the equipment that has been involved, but it is three things that seem to show up in every single beginner DJ mix that I have heard. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what those three things are, and you might even be able to spot some of these things in your own DJ mixes. Now that is not a bad thing, because by having that awareness is the day that you start to change your DJing for the better. Now, if we have not met before, my name is Karl Thomas, a professional DJ of over 20 years, working week in, week out in bars, nightclubs, and also private events. And through this channel and my website, djresources.net, I'm helping you to level up as a DJ in 2026. Let's get straight into it. Mistake number one, and that is all about not using EQs effectively. Now, EQ use in DJ mixes is like the bread and butter of DJing. If you use them effectively, it can make your transition seem very clean, smooth, and also impactful. And if you don't use the EQ effectively, it pretty much does the opposite. It can make the mix sound muddy, crowded, and also as well just not create any impact on the dance floor. Let's jump on the decks and I'll show you what to listen out for. Okay, so I've got two tracks loaded into the rekordbox software. We're on the FLX4. So in the first example, I'm going to show you a small transition with no EQ adjustment. Then we're going to do the same mix again, but I'm going to be adjusting the EQ the second time around. And if you're playing this through a proper sound system, you'll notice the sound differences between the two transitions. If you are playing this out of a mobile phone, it may be harder to distinguish the two, but definitely on a proper sound system like TVs, etc., or a computer, you will notice the difference. So you're going to see there that with no EQ adjustment, sounded very, very full. It sounded a little bit crowded, and potentially as well, the volume's just going to massively increase because you've got all frequencies in the mix. So we're going to do the exact same transition this time around, but we're going to make some adjustments to the EQ. And I feel that that makes for a much cleaner transition that second time around. Mistake number two, and that is overusing effects. Now, most modern DJ controllers and equipment comes packed full of creative effects, which is really quite cool. Even this FLX4 has got so many different creative and fun effects built in. But the reality of the situation is that most professional DJs, even the top 1% of DJs in the world, use probably a handful of effects at most in their DJ sets, because if you overuse effects, it just makes the set sound quite confusing and also as well disjointed. So the idea of effects is to enhance certain elements of your set rather than overpower it. I'm going to give you a couple of examples on the controller now. Okay, so for this second example, same two tracks are loaded, same transition kind of concept, but this time around we're looking at effects. I'm going to show you an example where the DJ is using too many effects, making things sound very confusing, and then we're going to do the example again with a much smoother use of effects the second time round. And that same transition again, but this time we're just going to use one effect for the last part of the transition as the tracks are mixing out. So it's like an echo out transition, letting the track breathe. And hopefully there you can see just how much cleaner that sounds. You're not muddling up the sounds when the first track is like going for it and people are probably dancing away, enjoying themselves. I think that causes far too much distraction. That second time around where we just created a little bit more emphasis on the outgoing first track by using a bit of an echo, certainly created a little bit of dramatic effect, but would not interfere with the crowd dynamic. Now, of course, this is very different to social media, whereby you probably want to show off your effects and your skills a little bit more, but trust me, a social media crowd is very, very different to playing out live. Now, if you want a structured path to learn how to DJ properly, everything from mastering all of your controls on your DJ controller through to creating professional sounding DJ mixes, then do check out my complete beginner DJ course, link down in the description down below. And I am offering for a limited time only a 50% off discount. And that also includes access into the exclusive Discord group where I will give you personal feedback on any DJ mixes that you send over. Link down in the description to find out more. Finally, mistake number 3, and that is all to do with phrasing. Now, this can take a little bit of time to get right because it is all about understanding song structure. And even to this day, after 20 years of DJing, I sometimes still get phrases a little bit wrong from time to time. So please do not worry too much about it. But what you always want to aim to do is to get your mixes in phrase. If you get your mixes in phrase, the mix will just flow nicely and it will make musical sense. If your mixes are out of phrase, you will run the risk of doing things like vocal clashes, like drops over drops, and it just will sound cluttered. And also as well, potentially on the other side of the spectrum, your mix might even sound boring because you're playing it safe, just doing outro into intro. So here's a couple of examples of what to listen out for. And then for our final example, I'm going to show you the same mix again, both in phrase and out of phrase. Out of phrase first, just so you can see how much it impacts the flow of a mix and also potentially your dance floor if you have got a crowd in front of you. Then we're going to do the same mix again, but the next time it will be in phrase, so you can just see how much more sense it makes. So let's hit play. So you could see there that the vocals started to clash because the intro of this track was overlapping with the breakdown of this track. They didn't kind of break down together, which just led to that vocal clash and then ultimately some confusion in the mix. And the structure just seemed a little bit off. Now, I'm not saying that your crowd are going to know musically in terms of the technical side and the structure side of things, but they will get a bit of a feeling that something is off, and that feeling can disrupt the energy in the room. This next time we're going to do the exact same mix, but I'm going to show you it in phrase.
Like a holiday,
So you can see there just everything made musical sense, and much like our first transition where everything was EQ'd nicely, the phrasing was actually correct in that. Very, very similar to that, whereby you can see there just the structure of the songs kind of matched each other. So you went into the breakdown of there, and we used the breakdown to mix into that second track. So now you have complete awareness of the 3 most common beginner DJ mistakes that keep mixes sounding amateur. Leave me any questions down in the comments down below. Shout out to my members as always. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will catch you in the next video.